Welcome to Rhythms of Progress, where we explore how music and artists are the unsung heroes of political movements and social advancement. I'm your host, Shazette Silva, but you can call me Lizard. Yes, Lizard. And with me is my favorite co-host, Stony. Say hello to our friend, Stony Boney. Oh, she's so cute. Today, Stony and I are thrilled to welcome Elia Einhorn, a multifaceted artist, producer, and engineer making incredible humanitarian, social, and political contributions through his artistic passions. Go Elia! Elia has many groundbreaking projects, but here are just two of them. Sober 21, a zine about getting sober and staying clean in the music industry. And TRANSA, a musical project that celebrates the gifts and stories of trans and non-binary artists from various genres and generations. Through TRANSA, Elia collaborates with the following icons: Sam Smith, Jeff Tweedy from Wilco, Andre 3000, Sade, yes, the Sade, Stony fainted twice, and many more artists. Our conversation took place over Zoom, so the sound will be adventurous and a gift from the internet. I'd like to start with a thank you. Thank you, Elia. Elia and I met in college, and he used to help me with my music theory homework and skills, and somewhere between my wrong notes, he'd mentioned this cool girl named Amy, and he lighted up like he found a missing chord to complete his song.
When we get home, darling, and it's nice and dark and the music's in the air, still real hot and you kiss me right, feels real good and I know you love me like you should.
It was beautiful, always rooting for love, always. This is the cover of You Make Me Feel Mighty Real by Sylvester. The artists are Moses Sumney, Lyra Promuk, and Sam Smith. Just one of the many dynamic tracks marching you straight into a rhythmic revolution. I think of this album as an ear candy buffet that will take you on a musical journey. You really did a lot for me at university. To see you and Amy and Conway, and to know that all of that came together for you, because I remember hearing about famous Amy. I was like, this sounds amazing. It's just beautiful to see people's dreams come true and that you got, and you're both each other's human. You just cannot replace love.
Oh, thank you for the beautiful words. And it's so great to see again. It's been too long. And the time we spent in school was so precious, and that time was so formative, right? In our lives, like being at school for those years and hanging out and learning from each other. It's amazing.
Well, I owe you so many thanks because I didn't know anything about it and I just had this passion. If I didn't have people like you or like my best friend who never put me down, you always encourage me, I think that's really powerful to artists, is to let them evolve.
Well, it's funny. I mean, you're sort of downplaying your ability in a very humble way, but you were like the best blues player and singer we had at school. You were amazing. I remember going down to the South Side to see you at that bar and hanging out, and I was like, fuck, she's like a proper musician. Whereas me, I was like, some like long-haired fool carrying around an acoustic guitar trying to.
You give me too much credit. I didn't know my skills. I just learned what I was taught.
Who cares though? Like a lot of my favorites are not technically, like they can't sit down and dissect chords and stuff and chord changes, but they're still the best because they just have a feeling for it that's
You're right.
better than maybe the scientific breakdown of it.
Let me do what my therapist tells me to do. Exhale and a thank you. Thank you.
Boom, there you go. Love it.
So what systemic changes, or why did you do TRANSA? Did you notice something socially or politically? Because it's a beautiful project.
Thank you. Yeah, so there's two lead producers on TRANSA. Just Reed, who I mentioned earlier, who's the one who brought me in to Red Hot, and then Massima Bell, who's a trans woman from Iowa and lives out in LA now. And she's a musician. She tours with the fantastic Nina Keith. And she's an actress and a model. Masi is this sort of Renaissance woman. And they had been working on it for, I think, a few months. And they said, Elia, would you come on as a co-producer? And I said, of course I will. And for me, I had had a number of friends who had transitioned, and I'd had this powerful experience where one of my dear friends named Rith had lost someone that he really cared about who was also trans. And I was at the Talk House podcast, and I thought we should really do a show around the trans community for visibility. And I curated a conversation between Laura Jane Grace from Against Me and Genesis P. Orridge from Throbbing Gristle, and so many other amazing bands too. But this was maybe like 10 years back. This was a very powerful conversation, and I think that work kind of led Dustin Masi to, and my other work in curation, to invite me on board. And so I was able to bring some incredible artists on board and help produce some amazing sessions. Earlier this year, I flew out to the Grammys in Los Angeles, and there was a couple artists who were wanting to work with us on TRANSA, but who were reticent to sort of self-produce. They wanted a producer in the booth with them. So the day before the Grammys, I had this incredible weekend there. I rented I've never had a sports car. I've always, been like I always drove tour vans, and because I'm a dad, I have a Subaru Forester, like the safest thing for my daughter. So I rented a Dodge Challenger, and I was just zooming around LA from session to session. The day before the Grammys, I went in with this amazing actress, Hunter Schafer, and Masi and I produced her vocals for a poem she read that was written by Eileen Miles.
You may know Hunter Schafer from Euphoria. Here is a bit of the poem.
I was jammed up in nothing beautiful. You fool. Left a message.
And then I went to the Grammys the next day, and then the day after that, I went in with Fleet Foxes, and I produced Robin Pecknold, Fleet Foxes' vocals for a track called TM, that's a collaboration with Cole Police and Lynn Avery, Charles Lloyd track. And that was amazing. And Robin invited me to sing on it too. So I'm singing one of the high parts with Fleet Foxes on that, which was a very generous offer that I couldn't refuse. And so, spending time in the studio with artists like that was incredible. I was in the studio with Sam Smith when they were recording with Beverly Glenn-Copeland here in New York. Incredible. I mean, just tears in every fucking eye, literally every fucking eye when Sam was singing Ever New, Beverly Glenn-Copeland's sort of iconic, what do you even call it, life philosophy track.
Welcome the spring, the summer rain. Softly turn to sing again. Welcome the bud, the summer blowing flower.
So, it was really powerful, and to get to be able to use my Rolodex to say, like, we were talking to Eileen Miles, and I said, who's your favorite artist? Who would you want to work with? And they said, I love Alado Negro. So I texted Alado Negro and said, Eileen Miles loves you. Would you want to be on this project? And Roberto texted me back and said, of course, let's do it. And now there's a track coming out, in 2 weeks with those two. That's just incredible. and they've become friends and have talked about doing more things together. So it's been incredible. And I feel like, you know, the trans community has been so unfairly politicized. It's like, just let people fucking live. Let people fucking live. Whether that's Black people in the 60s, whether that's women trying to vote, you know, last century. It's like, just fucking let people live and have equal rights. It's just logical.
Looks like it's time for my unrequited opinion. So, some politicians, you know who you are, you decided that the biggest threat to society are not climate change, the lack of healthcare, fixing potholes that now qualify as small lakes, and poverty. No, you chose to blame the trans community and people with melanin and a voice. Even a child can see you're using us to avoid doing your homework. Well played. Actually, not really. But I do acknowledge your effort. We all see what's happening. But on a serious note, who hurt you? And you know, it takes a lot of strength to step down from any position and take care of your mental health. It's the responsible thing to do. Now that is boss level.
So leave trans people the fuck alone, you know? And so I hope that TRANSA is a way of us letting supporting trans and non-binary communities and helping build community amongst many artists, B, platforming artists who are overlooked in a lot of ways because they're trans. And for a lot of the tracks, we paired trans artists with very big cisgender allies, you know? So like there's Jeff Tweedy from Wilco performing with Claire Rousey.
He loves to sit and hear me sing, and laughing sports and plays with me, then stretches out my golden wing and mocks my loss of liberty.
And then, you know, I think one of the most beautiful songs on TRANSA is from Sade. Sade gave us an original that she wrote for her son Isaac, who's trans. It's called Young Lion, and it's an apology. The whole song is this gorgeous, heartbreaking apology for not knowing what Isaac was going through. And I hope, my dearest hope is that parents will hear that and either think, A, I don't want that to be my family. I need to listen to my child and what they're telling me about who they are. Or B,
Mommy, I want to be this water mommy.
If it's already happened that they've maybe rejected their loved one because of their transition, they can say, oh my God, I see where I was wrong here, and I see where we can make amends, right? In the way Sade did so powerfully.
Young man, it's been so heavy for you. You must have felt so alone. The anguish and pain, I should have known. With such a
And, you know, Sade is someone who speaks to people across political divides. And that was something that Dustin and I talked about a lot when we were curating TRANSA, was like not just having an echo chamber of artists on the left, but having artists like Jeff Tweedy, like Sade, like Andre 3000, like Sam Smith, who are listened to by everyone. And when they say something, they're heard by everyone. And that was something that we felt so proud that we had all accomplished, you know, the five of us who produced this record.
You're right, Elia. These artists unite and heal. Ah, healing. Not on the political agenda, since it serves the people. So, artists are out here building bridges with baselines and truth, while the president remixes the Constitution in the wrong key. Maybe that's why they try to censor the chorus. Hey, nothing threatens the system like a catchy tune with a conscience. Anyway, power to the people. Thank you to all of you for organizing protests, and anyone who was out there in the protesting choir. You sounded beautiful. And if you were not there, thank you for protesting in your way, making signs, writing articles, making art, refilling your emotional batteries to keep this world running. Because someone has to keep the Wi-Fi on. And the group chats, emotionally regulated. Oh, hold on. Moment. Stoney just handed me a note. And it says, enough talking, human. I love you, but we need snacks. Meow. I listen to my cat. I know my role in life. We'll be right back. Hey, are you oddly angry at others for living their best lives? Does your blood pressure rise when you see bilingual signs? Does someone else's joy feel like a personal attack?
Ugh, your happiness sickens me.
It's insulting my ancestors. If you find yourself experiencing those symptoms, you may be suffering from existential bitterness with chronic judgmental disorder, also known as EBCJD, and may be eligible for a lifetime supply of therapy. It's like detox for your brain. Unlike hateful social media posts, therapy actually helps and has been shown to reduce passive aggressiveness by 98.6% and increase mirror pep talk by 150%. Side effects include clutching your pearls, twirling your hair while muttering, "Maybe not everything is my fault," screaming into a pillow that says, "Live, laugh, love," clenching your buttocks, realizing you were mean when you thought you were just telling it like it is, surprise feelings of joy, and accidental kindness towards yourself and others. In clinical trials, patients reported puffiness around their eyeballs after a mysterious saltwater leakage. On rare occasions, some patients' mascara ran down their face and mistook their reflection for Alice Cooper. For that, common sense and doctors recommend washing your face with soap and water, followed by any moisturizer and having a snack. Disclaimer: only Alice can effortlessly pull off that look. You may also experience laughing hysterically due to feelings of accomplishment, taking yourself out for ice cream like the damn legend you are, realizing that crying is genderless. The worst side effect that has been reported is realizing your problems will take time to solve. It's time to face your trauma before your next meltdown and start therapy, because healing is cheaper than bailing you out of jail. Oh, welcome. So tell me, when did you start blaming others for your lack of serotonin? This message is brought to you by Stony. Welcome back. Today we're speaking with musician and curator Elia Einhorn, who is one of the producers of TRANSA, a project spotlighting trans and non-binary artists. During our snack break, Stony looked at me, blinked once, and said, "I just decided. Elia is the unofficial diplomat of the Nation of Artists." Holy fantastical puppy cuteness. I agree. Let's get back to our interview. It wasn't long ago that you and I could not be in the same room if we were, or that I could not be married to my husband because I'm a
Right.
skin tone. And music did so much to move us forward, and we forgot how we spoke of people of other skin tones.
Really was not long ago.
And so
Yeah.
to talk about our fellow humans in such a degrading way, it doesn't make sense that you would not have equal rights.
It's embarrassing. And, I was, as we're speaking now, you're in Germany, and I was just in Germany last week. This time last week, I was in Cologne to do an artist interview at Weekend Fest. And I was literally embarrassed by the way our country was going at that point. And I got back the day before the election, and of course, our country made the decision it made, which I find reprehensible and heartbreaking. But it's embarrassing. When I go back to my other home of Britain, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed about what America does. And, it's not just us, right? I mean, there's civil rights issues in every country around the world, but it's embarrassing. So unnecessary. Hopefully we're making a tiny difference, right? Moving the needle a tiny bit.
Here is how trans and non-binary people contribute to the world. If you've ever used a phone, thank a trans woman, Lynn Conway, who helped invent modern microchip design. This is just one person. So if you really are anti-trans, that means no phones, no Spotify, no YouTube, no interweb, and good luck out there. Why wouldn't we want to include others? But since we are all about money, including trans and non-binary people is the right thing to do. It's great for the economy. More jobs, more innovation, more Spotify playlists, more kindness. So being inclusive is good for business and for your soul. Think of it as investing in kindness with excellent returns. And discrimination, well, that is actually a really big budgeting error. The title of the background track is Something is Happening, and I may not fully understand, but I'm happy to stand for the understanding. This is a collaboration between Andre 3000, Carlos Nino, Diatoni Parks, Nate Mercero, Diego Gaeta, Matthew David, Shabaka, and VCR. You work on such beautiful projects. You really do a lot for humanity. You and your friend.
Oh gosh.
Just
I find myself wanting to disagree, so I'm going to take your therapist's advice and exhale and say, thank you.
tell them thank you. Yeah.
I love it. I will say this. There's a show on Broadway right now here in New York called Sucked, and it's about the suffragist movement. And my daughter has become obsessed with it. I've never seen her become obsessed with anything like this. We've seen this show 3 times on Broadway, and we also went to their CD release party, and she's gotten to like meet Shayna Taub, who wrote it, and it's amazing to see a 7-year-old girl understanding oppression, but also seeing this opportunity change the game, right? And there's this lyric in it that makes me cry every time, and my daughter laughs at me because I weep every time they sing this in the show. But the women in the show they're marching against injustice on the Washington Mall, and they're saying, I want my daughter to know I was here. You know, I want my sister to know I was here. And I want that with this struggle for the trans community. You know, I want my daughter to know I was here. And the same for climate justice, and the same with helping people who have drug addiction problems. You know, I want to be part of a tiny part of something pushing back against these problems. And I want my daughter and her kids, if she decides to have kids, to know that I was here and that I was doing that.
We are ridiculously proud of Elia and his mates, Massima Bell, Dust Reed, Casey Garcia, Terrence Thomas, and executive producer John Carlin. Thank you for producing TRANSA, an album that's uniting humanity and keeping trans and LGBTQIA+ rights in the headlines. TRANSA demonstrates the power of conversations, being yourself, and the beauty of collaborating for the best interest of humanity. This is a big loving in your face to all the people who say, get a real job, a career. Art does not do anything for society, especially music. Ugh, music. To them, Stoney and I offer a message wrapped in color, cushioned with kindness, a grooving bass line, and a little chaos. Because we've seen your algorithm, and we know you love the glitter. So stop fighting by a rhythm, and you'll no longer be bitter. Oh wow, look, you've got great rhythm. But in all seriousness, we exist in a world where living authentically can be life-threatening. So, stay safe. Safety first, always, always. And Stoney and I, we're not just rooting for you. We're also imagining the outfit you're wearing while changing the world. And, wow, You look amazing. Not that you need to dress up to do so, but we can tell you feel great. Aw, you even inspired Stony. She's sewing us matching outfits. I'm so excited. Yes. And if you ever need help, here are 2 resources. More are linked in the episode notes. The TrevorProject.org is 100% confidential and free to LGBTQIA+ young people. And transequality.org, where you can find legal resources. Rhythms of Progress is not sponsored by these organizations, but you deserve to know what is available for you. And seriously, you are not alone. I know it may feel that way sometimes, but you are not. And if anyone says otherwise, send them our way. Stony wears many hats. She has a PhD in psychology. But first, they must have a snack. Then the therapy begins. So, stay soft when it suits you, be loud when it moves you, and don't let them confuse you. Stony and I are celebrating anyone who worked on TRANSA by knocking this glass of water off the counter and into a plant. We're not wasteful. It's full circle here. Enjoy listening to TRANSA. It is a haven of sounds and safety, with friends sharing their journey towards empowerment. This episode was produced, mixed, and recorded by Shazette Silva. Transition music, parody commercial, and soundtrack was by them as well. Special thanks to 91.3 WVUD, the voice of the University of Delaware, where parts of this episode were recorded. And special thanks to Dave and Steve for being my accidental mentors and helping me figure things out. And as always, honor your rhythm.